Hi everyone, my name is Carissa Kim and welcome to CyberTalk, the very first K12 cyber show where we want you to stay aware to show you care. We are very excited that you are here today and we have some very exciting content to share with all of you guys here. Just a quick reminder, we are live every other Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST or 5 p.m. PST. Make sure to follow our social media and website at www.k12cybertalk.org to follow for more updates and resource links. As CyberTalk is an all-inclusive educational show, our main aim is to provide a welcoming environment for everyone to learn and explore different cyber career options. We also hope to teach viewers about the importance of cybersecurity and to provide resources. So as you know, this webcast is hosted on Zoom due to the current pandemic. But how is everyone? Hopefully the pandemic did not affect cybersecurity practices, competitions, schooling.
So I think so far cybersecurity competitions has been affected by this pandemic, but not as much as in some aspects. So like for example, 2 weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, we had a practice round for Cyber Patriot. I'm sure some of you guys have competed in it. And basically we got to experience how things were gonna go through this pandemic and how we were able to communicate in this competition. And we experienced things like being able to screen share and communicate through like things like Discord and Zoom for the competition. So it shows how well communication can be during this competition, but it will always be good.
Wow, I see. Timothy, I heard you had a quite extensive background with cybersecurity and in competitions. In fact, you competed in the Nationals competition virtually last year. Can you share more about that?
Yeah, so I've been competing in Cyber Patriot since I was in middle school, so about 4 years now. And I was able to go to nationals for the past 3 years. But last year, nationals was a bit different because of the pandemic situation. So basically, we're competing virtually, and we also got to experience ways to communicate virtually instead of in person for the competition, which was similar to how we communicated in the last practice round for Cyber Patriot as well. So Sydney, I heard you started and created the cybersecurity program at your school.
Yeah, so some schools in high school have like a cybersecurity program already there for them, but in my case, it wasn't really there. I started cybersecurity in middle school, so I decided it would be fun to start one in high school. I just created it last year, so we're a fairly new club, but things have been going well so far, especially with being online. All of our club meetings are now over Zoom, so we're adapting in that way. But it's been pretty fun, and we're competing in Cyber Patriot as well, which is happening very soon. We also do a lot of like volunteer work with middle school students and senior citizens. So that also has been really fun. Jacob, I heard that you also do some teaching. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I didn't start cybersecurity at my school. Cybersecurity has been kind of like a tradition at the school I go to, and I had a lot of people to look up to, and I had a lot of time to hone my skills with those people. So I also teach Cisco networking at my school. I teach around 4 hours a week, and I prepare materials over the weekend. And I have been noticing a lot of struggle in concentration when we're practicing for these competition rounds. So my solution to that was blackmail, right? So if your camera's off, I'm more likely to pick on you when I'm asking questions, and that gets everyone to turn on their camera, and everyone's more focused. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening with my practices. But I heard Anusha just graduated from middle school and is in high school at the high school I go to. So how's it going, Anusha? How are you liking the high school life?
It's been great. I mean, it's especially a change for cyber. Not really that easy to change because I mean, my high school did offer cyber to my middle school, so that wasn't really the change. It was more of changing from like the middle school division to the high school division, knowing that our images are going to be harder. You can choose from the two divisions, from open division or all service division, and also you're having to qualify between 3 tiers. So that's really the major change that kind of like shocked us a little bit, but otherwise it's been pretty well. The practice have been amazing. It's been going awesome. What about you, Deja? Has it been on your side?
For me, I'm more of a team player considering I am an athlete, and it's hard to just rely on yourself when you're supposed to rely on your team as well. Taking notes is more difficult than it usually is because we are allowed to share our notes up until competition, but now you're kind of just on your own, and it's hard sharing notes, making sure that everyone can put all their ideas on the same doc. So that transition is difficult, but we're all going to get through it. What about you, Anna? How are you transitioning with it?
Yeah, so I've done cyber for 4 years now, and this year was definitely very unique in terms of everything. And since the pandemic started around March, I did do virtual teaching for basic cyber camp over the summer. I was kind of like Jacob in that sense as a teacher. It was, I would still think that it was pretty fun. It was interactive. We had a lot of online activities. And now, as we kind of start to compete for the upcoming Cyber Patriot season, I am also kind of transitioning with my team. We're using online platforms like Discord to connect and kind of practice together. And what about you, Sky? I know that you are also a teacher during the summer. How was that for you?
Hi, so my name's Sky, and thank you, Anna, for asking me. So I did have a similar experience. I was also teaching virtually over the summer for cyber camp at my school. And I also agree that the transition has been very interesting, to say the least. I know last year my team qualified for nationals, and it was the first time they had to hold the nationals virtually. So that was pretty interesting. We definitely had to work a lot more as a team, kind of figure out how we were going to communicate. And similarly this year, we're trying to find ways to coordinate because we don't have access to the in-person practices. We don't have access to doing the rounds together, which is a bit hard, but I think we've been getting through it. And like Anna said, we've definitely been using different platforms like Messenger and Discord to communicate with each other. So it's been okay. How about you, Bethany?
So at my school, we have been able to get together in a few practice rounds to start getting ready for Cyber Patriot, but we do also use Discord and other ways to talk to everyone to get prepared, and we're getting ready for the competition this weekend. How about you, Carissa? How have things been going for you?
Oh yes, the pandemic definitely has caused a lot of us surprise. I competed in last year's nationals competition, and it was virtual, and it was quite unfortunate because they have it hosted at Baltimore, Maryland. So unfortunately, all the teams that did qualify for nationals could not compete in person, but I think the virtual experience was still definitely nice. But like hearing all of you guys' experience with competing and teaching cybersecurity is making me very excited. And so I cannot wait to get started with the show. If you have any questions or comments during the show, feel free to type it in the comment section. And so now what we have all been waiting for, I'll pass the stand to Timothy.
Thank you, Carissa, for that quick introduction to our program. So, hi guys, my name is Timothy, and today you may be wondering what cybersecurity is and why cybersecurity is so important in our day-to-day lives, because the show is all about cybersecurity. Today, I will answer those questions for you. So our day-to-day usage of technology is only increasing as we get more updated and advanced systems in our society. Because of these advanced systems, more and more people are starting to use various types of technology, whether it be our computers, our phones, and even our security cameras. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting these internet-connected devices, systems, and network, which includes the hardware, software, and data side from these cyber threats and digital attacks. Many times, these cyber attacks are usually aimed towards accessing and destroying sensitive information, which could include extorting money from us or other businesses and interrupting normal business processes. Cybersecurity is used by individuals and in businesses all over the world to protect against unauthorized access to their data centers and other computerized systems, along with various other cyber attacks. Implementing these effective cybersecurity measures is particularly challenging today due to the increasing number of devices compared to the amount of attacks that are going on, compared to the amount of technicians that we currently have. This will later be mentioned by Sydney in the Korean job sections and our need for careers, more cybersecurity careers. Along with this, attackers are becoming more innovative as the number of attacks happening all over the world is shown by this Kaspersky cyber map link. So as you can see here, this is a live cyber attack threat map shown by Kaspersky. And this map shows all the cyber attacks that are happening currently in this moment live. So basically, you can see that there's so many attacks that are going on right now, and we need cyber technicians to defend these attacks. And because we don't have as many cyber technicians, this field shows to be prevalent. Now, I'm sure if you're watching this show and you guys are using technology in your day-to-day lives during this digital age and coronavirus, an attack to your personal devices or your personal data can happen at any moment and at any time. And understanding cybersecurity will not only help you and protect yourself, but it can also protect your friends and families around you. Now, I would like to pass the stand to Anusha, who will talk more about cyber attacks.
Before we pass the stand to Anusha, I was wondering if you can go back and show the map a little more clearly and just talk into detail about that, Tim.
Yeah, so basically this map is showing a live cyber attack map. So if we click on US, you can see in detail like where the cyber attacks are coming from and where the cyber attacks are going into. And as you can see, there are many cyber attacks that are happening right now. But we need more technicians, especially in the US, because you can see there's a lot of cyber attacks happening in the US. So this shows how prevalent this field is, and the more technicians we have, the better.
Wow, that's great. Okay, I think we can pass the stand to Anusha.
Hey guys, okay, thanks for that, Timothy. That map actually really shocked me, knowing that at this time, while we're presenting and we're talking about cyber, those attacks are happening right now, right at this second. I mean, that just goes to show that we need more securers out there. So, all right, now let's get going. So once again, I'm Anisha, and we will now be talking about cyber attacks. Sydney, can you play the video?
Hurry up, Lauren! Oh my god, look at this text I just got.
Okay, so that's an example of a ransomware attack. It says that, hi, please send $1,000, and if you do not send in 2 days, your phone will be locked and all your data will be shared publicly. So that's what that text message said. And that's a type of ransomware attack. A ransomware attack is where when the hacker threatens to either remove or share your data publicly if you do not pay the ransom or money they ask you in the certain time. An example of this attack is the WannaCry attack, which happened worldwide on May 2017. WannaCry was an attack nationwide where the attackers had first asked for $300 worth of Bitcoin, which is a type of cryptocurrency, and then they had increased it to $600 worth of Bitcoin. And if the person had not paid in those 3 days that they got in that attack, all their data would be wiped. Now, many ransomware attacks are targeted towards hospitals, and that can be a serious issue because let's say your family was in the hospital and they were getting treatment, and then out of nowhere, all their computers and their systems get locked and shut down. It would be a huge issue for the patients as it can risk their lives. And also nowadays, many of their charts are going online onto the computers. So that which contains their medical information, their personal information. And if that is deleted or leaked, it can be a huge issue. Now I'm going to pass the stand over to Sydney, and she's going to talk to you about pathways and careers in cyber.
Okay, so thanks Anusha for teaching us about those potential attacks. Hi everyone, my name is Sydney again, and I will be going over cyber careers and the different resources that you can use. So with these cyber threats that you just heard Anusha explain about becoming more and more sophisticated over time, the need for cybersecurity in various different businesses is very critical. So if you're interested in technology and cybersecurity in general, this is a great field for you to consider looking into. Did you know that there's a shortage of nearly 3 million cybersecurity professionals globally? And in the United States alone, there are over 500,000 unfilled cybersecurity positions. So you may be wondering, what do cybersecurity professionals actually do? Well, there are many different types of cybersecurity jobs, such as ethical or white hat hackers who try to uncover vulnerabilities in websites or computer networks. Or we have cryptographers who analyze and decrypt or uncode hidden information from cyber terrorists. But no matter the specific type of job, the main goal is to keep important data in the right hands and keep it away from people who would try to take advantage of it. I know a lot of people may have like a hard time picturing what being a cybersecurity professional exactly means, but it's most likely because you weren't really exposed to it growing up as you were with other jobs. For example, you know that like teachers are connected with educations, doctors and nurses are connected to healthcare and medicine, and politicians are a part of the government. But cybersecurity jobs aren't mainly tied to one sector. You need cybersecurity professionals in hospitals, making sure that patient data is kept safe, in banking to keep money and personal information confidential, and so much more. So a good way to start exploring different cyber careers is going to this site called cyberseek.org. This is what their site looks like, and they have these two tools. One of them is the interactive map, and the other is the career pathway. So we're gonna first go to the interactive map. And on here, it just shows the total job openings of cybersecurity across the nation. So I'm in California, so we'll click on that. And you can see down here that it gives you the description that there are 66,741 total job openings and that the supply of cybersecurity workers is very low to the demand. So if you really like cybersecurity and you want to put work into it, there's a very good chance that you'll get a job. The top cybersecurity job titles are cybersecurity engineers, consultants, analysts, and much more. And down here, it tells you like a list of certifications that most employers would require when you're applying, such as the CompTIA Security Plus, which may sound familiar to some of you. Next, we have our career pathway. And on here, it like gives you all of the feeder roles into cybersecurity. So these are all like different aspects of cybersecurity. And we have networking, software development, systems engineering, financial and risk analysis, and security intelligence. So we'll just click on one of them as an example. So we do networking. It shows you the total job openings, the common job titles, the common certifications requested, and the top skills and cybersecurity skills to add. They also have jobs at the entry level, mid-level, and advanced level. And the bigger the bubble is, the more like the need for the job is. So you can see for cybersecurity engineers, there's a lot of job openings. So you can click on these different jobs and learn more about them. Next, we have cyberdegrees.org. And first, we're gonna go on their site about cyber jobs. So if you scroll down, it gives you a long list of more cybersecurity jobs in detail. So you can see here they have chief infosec officers, cryptographers, forensics experts, incident responders, and so much more. So let's see, if we click on, let's do cryptographers, because we were sort of talking about that before. It says a quick description about what cryptographers do. So it says that they help organizations safely and securely communicate and exchange information. As cyber attack and threats grow, the demand for skilled cryptographers who can protect valuable information may increase. They typically work for government agencies, financial institutions, and healthcare organizations. Companies like Amazon, Google, and Apple also hire cryptographers. They develop and crack codes, puzzles, and cryptograms. So if this sounds interesting to you, maybe you could look into studying more about cryptography. They also tell you about the skills you need and the required education. For this one, it's a master's and PhD preferred, and the average annual salary. They also have up here their degree programs list. And this is just a list of different degree programs for cybersecurity. This is by state, but if you scroll down, it answers some common questions about cybersecurity degrees, like whether it's worth it, how to choose one, the difference between cybersecurity and computer science, what an online cybersecurity degree is, and so much more. So you can go on this site on your own time to read more in depth about cybersecurity degrees if you're interested in doing so. So next we have the CAE and Cybersecurity Community, which is a center of academic excellence for cybersecurity. This is what their website looks like. They work with education, government, and different industries. For our purposes, we'll go in this About Us section and click on their CAE institution map. So if you're like me and you're a senior in high school currently applying to colleges and you're interested in doing cybersecurity, I would recommend looking at this list because it has all of these schools that are designated with the CAE, which would be helpful for college research. Some of these schools might look familiar. So if you're currently applying, maybe consider this list to get more information about schools. Okay, so lastly, we have the National Institute of Standards and Technology because it is National Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week, and we actually have someone here with us today to answer more questions about that. So I would like to invite Mrs. Davina.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we have some questions for you. It's sort of like an interview and we'll be asking them.
Okay.
So I'll start first. Can you explain what Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week is and what its main goal?
Sure. So National Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week is a week-long campaign to really call attention to the contributions that society and to society and the innovations introduced by cybersecurity practitioners. So it actually started yesterday. It goes through this whole week. So we're very excited. We're excited that you're doing this during Career Awareness Week. It's a time to really build awareness around the wide range of cybersecurity job opportunities and how cybersecurity plays a real vital role in the lives of Americans, and also how building a national cybersecurity workforce enhances not only America's national security, but also really promotes economic prosperity. And so the three main goals, and you've already touched on some of these in the earlier presentations, but is to inspire and engage and inform the nation. And that's about the demand and the opportunities and the multiple career options available to help demystify careers in cybersecurity. So that it's not just, as you mentioned, it's not just engineering and computer science, it's much broader than that. And then to develop, help to develop skilled and diverse workforce.
Thank you. Can you explain exactly what NICE and NIST means?
NICE and NIST. So NICE is the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, and it is led by NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which is part of the U.S. Department of Education. And our main mission is to serve as a convener. So we basically convene all those that are interested in developing cybersecurity workforce, which is pretty much everyone now, but act as a convener to really pull collaboratively to work together so that we're moving with the same goal in mind, which is to develop a really skilled workforce, cybersecurity workforce.
Okay, we just stopped sharing so we can see your face a little better. Thank you for that. So moving on to you, how did you personally get involved with this organization?
Get involved with NICE?
Yes.
So I actually was previous to coming on board at NICE. I was a faculty member at the University of Maryland College Park in the School of Education, and was a faculty teaching STEM education and technology, use of technology. And along with that, started to do a lot of research in what I call C3, which is cyber ethics, cyber safety, cybersecurity. And from that, I got more involved with careers that also aligned with cybersecurity and cyber safety, and got involved with some NSF funding projects. So the National Cyberwatch Center started out as a regional center, and that's how I sort of serendipitously ended up in the area. But the focus was mainly on C3 awareness originally.
All right, cool. So hello, I'm Jacob. So I'll be asking the next question. So can you
Okay.
explain more about your career and what you generally do and how it kind of affects the world of cybersecurity?
So more about what we do. So NICE is, as I mentioned, is led by NIST. Every 5 years, we are mandated to come up with a national strategic plan. So the strategic plan, actually our new strategic plan was updated just a couple of weeks ago. And from that, it lays out the roadmap for developing a cybersecurity workforce for the nation. And within that, I serve as the lead for academic engagement. So that works with K12 up through our higher ed institutions. Although the majority, a good chunk of the time is spent on K12. So within that realm, it's working with everything from informal, so helping the Girl Scouts with their badges and their content, and the Boy Scouts and the 4-H content. It's working with standards groups to make sure that cybersecurity is integrated into other existing standards in the K-12 community. It's helping put together a national K-12 cybersecurity education conference. We also, of course, launch Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week and all of the festivities that are around that. We work with Department of Education in a variety of different areas, one in the STEM, how cybersecurity folds into the STEM community and efforts, but also in CTE, career technical education pathways, and working with not only the Department of Education, but also with the main organizations, ACTE and so forth, to come up with examples of model stellar CTE programs of study and what components make that up and what content needs to be included. So a wide variety. We also have a really active K-12 subgroup, which is now called Communities of Interest. And they work, these are made up of folks throughout the US and collectively working on projects that they feel will really advance education in cybersecurity in the K-12 space. So everything from curating content and reviewing that content, and where do we put that content so other people can get there, to looking through different standards within the K-12 spectrum and how can we tap and make use of that, to different frameworks, different groups doing different frameworks and folding in. So there's lots of different projects that they're working on.
Thank you for that. I'm Anisha. I'm going to be asking the next question to Ms. Davina. What's your favorite part about having a cyber career in general?
Well, it's never boring. And the other nice thing is you're always learning something new. I mean, today, as the second day for Cybersecurity Career Awareness Week, lots of activities started at 8:30 in the morning, and here on the East Coast, it is 8:30 at night, and it was gone straight through. But actually, in many of the activities and the workshops and the presentations, always something new that I'm learning. So that's the exciting part about it, and the people that you get to meet, and also feeling like you're really making a difference. So making a difference not only in the educational community, but also in a field that is growing, and that hopefully we can entice other young people like yourselves to go into this field and to help build a really strong cybersecurity workforce.
Wow, that's so great, Dr. Pruitt-Mentle. We just wanted to quickly open up any questions to the audience. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Pruitt-Mentle? I'll be taking questions from the comment section. whether you can send it privately or to everyone. So I think a student asked, do you have any recommended resources or sites students can utilize?
Can utilize to learn about cybersecurity?
I think that's what they're saying, yes.
Yep. So one, I would make sure that I think we're a great resource. So nist.gov/NIST. And within that, there are not only lots of resources available, but also within the career awareness portion of the website, we have tried to curate lots of different resources from multiple partners, as well as materials that we have to make sure that people can find out more information. We've tried to, even under the current circumstances of everything virtual, we've tried to even tap like virtual tours, so you can kind of get an idea of, you know, what places would look like. But then also make a list of a lot of the federal resources that are available, and also other free training, free courses. There are different tools out there. One was mentioned earlier, Cybersafe, so that you have a better understanding. I think the one thing that we really try to emphasize is that cybersecurity is not just a monolithic entity. It's not just computer science, just engineering. It's not somebody in the basement with a hoodie on a couch and a laptop, you know, hacking into something. It's much broader than that. And if you have a love for policy or for governance or for digital forensics or, you know, English or anthropology, there is something for everyone in cybersecurity. And that is a really critical piece. The NICE framework is another key component. So that lays out the 52 different work roles, at least at this time, 52 different work roles. Those all are mapped to the Department of Labor, their SOC codes, their the occupational codes, so that you can, that's another resource you can go and you can see what's the forecast in particular areas 10 years from now, what are the job outlook for that particular area. So there's lots of federal resources. There's lots of resources within the community, especially the higher education community. There's lots of competitions that you could dabble in to find out, you know, different areas of cybersecurity that you might be more passionate about. There's just so many resources out there, as well as really trying to tap into some of the community activities. So the meetups, and I know the meetups might not be great for this particular group, but there's student organizations. There's you know, specialty groups, and a hacker is not a good term. That's a term that they use, but just specialty groups that kind of meet on the side for competitions, and whether the competitions are defense competitions or whether they're policy competitions or a variety of different other aspects, all of those are ways that you can explore and you can figure out what you're more interested in. And that gives you a little bit of insight into which direction you want to go in cybersecurity.
Wow, that's really great. Thank you so much, Dr. Pruitt-Mentle, for participating in this interview. Unfortunately, this is the end of our very first show, and we hope you enjoy it. We'll post this recording to YouTube later this week. Our next show will be 2 weeks from tonight on Tuesday, November 24th, 8 p.m. EST and 5 p.m. PST. And we'll be having a collaboration with the National Cryptologic Museum, so stay tuned for that. Also, to keep up with more information, visit www.K12CyberTalk.org. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to catch you next time. Stay cyber safe, everyone, and have a great evening.